Hi guys, today is still the 27th of May 2020 and it's 6 minutes past 8 in the evening now over here in the UK. I want to play this section of the iPad Go 2 video, then I want to quickly explain something. First I'm going to turn the volume down. So these motions, craziness, pointing at things, accusations. We get Florida and the submarine, or the shark, which represents the submarine. Just take a step back. So craziness, pointing to Florida and the shark. A circular motion, waves, and then some sort of launch. Today, as I already explained in the previous video, SpaceX is launching their first manned spacecraft in a while, and I feel it may have some Challenger connotations, as in it might blow up mid-air, or there might be some sort of cyber attack which interrupts its flight path. But the other motions in there, one of the other motions is the swirling of the head, the circular motion when his head goes round. We've often depicted that as a hurricane or some sort of geological event or meteorological event, hurricane, tornado. I've even looked at whirlpool, for example, in connection with the oceans and the waves. Now, obviously, as I mentioned as well, Donald Trump is going to be in Florida. So we have two key things going on: a SpaceX launch and a president in Florida. Now, the circular motion, as I just mentioned, could relate to a tornado, and it just so happens a tornado warning has been issued just north of where the NASA launch site, just 2 hours from now, or 1 hour and a half from now, in its historic space launch. The warning was issued just a stone's throw away from where the SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket is scheduled to leave, as astronauts farewell their families, meteorologist Brian Bennett said. So we've got a couple of converging events here. We've got the launch, we've got Trump in Florida, we've got the tornado, we've got Iran and it's at least one tanker in Venezuela, so not too far off. Obviously, we've got the tensions with China and the coronavirus, and the number 27, which appears multiple times, one or twice or three times in the beginning of the video, with the 2 and the T upside down would be a 7, the 666, which upside down would be 999, which again is 27, the dog's legs, 3 of them, but 2 back here, and 1 which extends to the bottom of the dog's jaw, as you can just see that little line just there underneath the E and the T, the E and the T. So that makes another kind of backwards 7. So 3 27s at least in the beginning of this video. And then when you get into the classroom, as I've explained before, you're going through, you get shown 10, you get shown 10 again, and then you get shown 3 on one hand, 4 on the other. Sorry, I wasn't quick enough to catch that one. Again, that 27 reference. Going a little bit further into the video, in the background here, the rabbit's ears or the hare's ears making the number 2, and then the vine leaves off to the side making the number 7. Again, a possible reference over here with 2 marks and a possible backwards 7 here on the child's head with the 7 just there upside down and the 2 marks over here. Again, 3 connections to the number 27 within one frame. If I want to go a little bit further, I can potentially, well, actually, let me just leave that. But you can see what I'm saying. I think even when I go outside the classroom, looking at the Psalm 23, let's have a closer look. There is the situation with the number 2 just here, also being an upside down 7 with a flick of a curl on the tail. You can see that just there. So 2 one way and 7 the other way, potentially giving us the number 27. And then again, that reference to 3 within the classroom, and at the beginning of the video there were at least 3 references to the number 27 that I could count. And then we've got 27 and the number 3 just off to the side here. Obviously the 27th of March has gone. But now I'm looking at it, I'm thinking maybe the 3 could actually be a sideways M, and that M could stand for May. So May 27, which is today. Again, you guys, I'm just pointing out the events that seem to be connecting up today. We haven't seen a blackout as of yet, no cyber attack as of yet, no nuclear launches or missile launches that I know of. The USS aircraft carriers are still afloat, the hospital ships are still afloat. Donald Trump hasn't had a heart attack or been shot as of yet. So we're still looking out for these things, but obviously, you know, today is not over. 27 is prevalent throughout this video. We have a tornado warning for Florida. We have Donald Trump in Florida. We have a spacecraft launching from Florida. So Florida seems to be really key today. Keep an eye. But as we know, with the point of this star, which begins its journey around Florida, but then travels up the East Coast, that may suggest an entire watch for the East Coast. States I've mentioned along the East Coast would be Florida, Maryland, New York, of course, and Maine. Those are the 4 main ones, sorry for the pun, along the East Coast that I've mentioned before, particularly with Maine. That particular state seems to have its name encoded into the burning house, which is behind the George Bush character's head right now, and also has a red sort of lobster claw or a flame in the shape of a lobster claw, which could give you a reference to Maine as well, because we have Maine lobsters that come from there. If you want to see what I'm talking about, we have the M, the house representing the letter A, the I, the N, and the letter E backwards. That's just potential, but I also get the word McCain out of that as well. So looking out for any events around the USS John McCain. Again, you guys, I hope and pray none of this happens. I'm just putting out the warnings that I see, and hopefully none of these things will happen. Stay prayerful. Have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and may the Heavenly Father bless you.